So the title today is This Is Your Wake-Up Call. And I think that song is the first thing we need to recognize and honor, that being awake means we wake up to what's ever present always. When Gretchen was singing, there's quite enough love, joy, peace, possibility, beauty right here in this room. It's everywhere present always. There's not a place where the infinite joy and good isn't present. We just need to be aware of it and awake to it. So awake in This Is Your Wake Up Call means we need to awaken not only to the divinity within us that's always there, even if we don't honor, recognize, realize, live it, but it's everywhere around us. And if we choose to not wake up and be asleep, it means we close our eyes to the good that's ever present. And some way, somehow, we think it's this physical world with all its conundrums is the reality of life when it is not the reality. The reality is the goodness that's ever flowing from an infinite source. Do you get what I mean? It's there, and it's up to you and me to say yes to it, to be there and be present to the good that's there. Now, the wake-up call for us is to recognize, well, for me, here's the date we're born into this physical being. Now, our body isn't who we are, but it's a beautiful, blessed vehicle for us to learn and grow from and to live into and to express life and love and goodness and all of that stuff. And then we leave this body when we're finished with it and move on. I want to make sure that dash in between those dates, I want the words to say, I lived. I really lived. I lived fully. And that means that we're awake. It doesn't mean that it's easy or simple. It means we're awake and we're living life and we allow ourselves to be fully present in whatever experience there is. That divine wisdom that's in each and every one of us, it will seek us out. It will find us some way or another. It's going to find us by letting us know it's there. Now, Joseph Campbell, that a wonderful American mythologist, a great life changer, he studied myths and cultures from ancient times to modern times. And he found a unifying thread that united all of this together. And that was the hero's story, the hero's journey. And we know from just what we teach and who we are that we're each the hero in our own life. We can have mentors and teachers to teach us and show us, but we have to be the hero. We have to be the ones that awaken in our own life. Just like Barbara was reading to us this morning, we got to wake up and celebrate what's there. That's up to us. That's our job. Somebody else can't wake us up. They can teach us, but we choose if we want to learn and practice or not. So Joseph Campbell said, the hero's journey always begins with a call. And if you don't answer that call, it's not going to be such a good idea. You become a victim. You become a servant to someone else's possibilities. Are you getting that part? That wake-up call comes to us, shakes us up, and I'll tell you what the wake-up call is all about. It's about changing our emphasis and focus in life from the outer world to the inner world. And that journey inward can be terrifying and exhilarating. It's all of it, because when we go inward, we're going to run into all the ogres from our nursery days, our childhood, and all the special helpers and divine beings from our younger days. And when we go in that journey within, what we're going to tap into is the life potentialities that still remain latent within us, that we haven't brought into our adult realization. You know what I mean? It's all those things that keep wanting to be expressed. It's the gifts that we have that need to be shared. Not just we want to share, they need to be shared. That's why we're here. And so we go on that journey to tap into those life potentialities that are there like golden seeds. Now, if you imagine a seed like to a beautiful rose, the seed holds all the potential of the rose. But what does the seed need in order for it to blossom and bloom? It needs the proper and right conditions for it to grow. And the seed of potentiality in us doesn't die. It's there waiting for the right condition, which means you and I need to be able to nurture and give that seed the recognition, the realization, the awakening, the tools it needs to blossom and grow. And those seeds aren't in some of us. They're in all of us. All of us. The Gospel of Thomas says, bring forth that which is within you and it will save you. Meaning it will give your life meaning and quality and purpose. It will save you. If you don't bring forth those gifts, it says it will destroy you, which simply to me means it will destroy the potency and the meaning that each and every life has. There's so many beautiful teachers in the world right now, and we're so blessed because it's a time when we have access to so much wisdom within us and around us. And one of the beautiful teachers, a contemporary entrepreneur and author, Seth Godin, he's an entrepreneur of ideas. He's made a ton of money on his concept in this high technology world of not only being a high tech world, but a high touch world. And he's teaching people how to make connections in the world so we live together in this universe. And his newest book is called What to Do When It's Your Turn. And the subtitle, It's Always Your Turn. There's no getting out of this one. And he said, being your turn doesn't mean, pick me, and you're the one that's picked. It means it's your turn to make a change. You know, we live in this evolutionary universe, so if you stay just the way you are right now till the end of 2016, you won't just have stayed the same. You'll have gone backwards because we live in this evolutionary universe. So let me read to you just some of the ways he suggests maybe it's your turn and see if you relate to any of these. He says it's your turn to ship, speak up, stand out, build a following, market a product, make a connection, solve an interesting problem, write, sing, invent, create, ask a question, launch a project, organize a protest, open the door for someone, question authority, make a short film, direct, produce, create, adopt, learn a new skill, help someone who needs you, be missed if you're gone, make a ruckus. Make a ruckus. He goes on to say, it's easy, it's fun, it's guaranteed to work, and you can do it. And then he says, that's all true, except the easy, fun, and guaranteed part. Life is an opportunity. We're not here to be comfortable. It isn't easy to step out from the crowd. It isn't easy to claim that gift when you really don't know what to do with it. It isn't easy. There's no guarantees that it's going to work. There's no guarantees that your heart won't get broken. There's no guarantees that will be successful, that you'll have the support of your family and friends. But we're here to do it anyway, because it's the learning and the process and the journey that matter. So many of us feel that call, but then we get distracted. There's something else. Oh, that to-do list. You know that list? It's always distracting us. We get distracted because we're afraid. But you and I, we have to stop holding on to certain things that make us feel comfortable. We have to liberate ourselves and give ourselves the freedom to create the fertile soil, the right condition for our gifts to be expanded and grown. Number one, you can do this if you want, because if you're holding on to any of these things, you can just do it quietly, like behind one hand. But I'm going to ask you to let go. We need to liberate some things if we're going to get into this new year and let these gifts have the soil they need to blossom and bloom. Number one, we need to liberate the need to be right. Because when we make ourselves right, what do? We make somebody else wrong. We need to let that go. We need to let go of the herd mentality. I want to be like everybody else. I want to be like everybody else. Because it makes us a sheep or whatever. We're here to stand out. We're here to be originals. If we really want to live in that creative flow of inspiration, which is that flow that we were singing about in the room all the time, it's here for us if we're here to be in that. We're not here to be part of the herd. We're here to stand out in our own lives, to truly live and be an original. If that works for you. Now this one I know, you may all go like this, because I know this is one for all of us. We need to let go, liberate the fear of feeling stupid. How many of us like to look stupid? None of us, but you know what? If we're really going to learn new things, we will be stupid in the beginning, because we won't know what it is. We have to learn it. Does that make sense? It's okay to be stupid for a while. Just don't stay there. We fail so often because we just haven't given it our best yet. So if we can stop having the fear of being stupid, stop having a fear of failing, and stop being afraid of being afraid, and just do it anyway and see what happens. Because what's the difference? What's the difference? We need to be able to liberate ourselves so we're free to stand in that flow of goodness, of infinite creative expression, creative inspiration. We need to be available to it unless we open ourselves up and stop holding on and grasping the things that keep us stuck, that hold down that soil of potential. You and I, okay, I hope everybody's doing this. Open up, open up, open up, open up. We need to be doing that. We need to also liberate the mind that tells us the physical is what's real. This evolutionary journey that we're all on together is about letting go of believing it's the physical, the dream that the physical is real, and recognizing that the truth of us is our innate divine wisdom from within. This journey is not new. It's been going on for thousands and thousands of years. We've been told it's the inner journey. There's where our reality is. And when are we going to get it? Thank you. Now we're going to get it now. This is the time now. Because we're all in this together. There's more people around the world that are really saying this is the journey we're on. But I'm going to share with you, because in Sufism, that's the mystical, esoteric arm of Islam, ancient. And their main tenet is the oneness of God and humanity. It's about the unity, oneness, God, humanity, we are one. And that's what they teach and profess. So one thing, how many of you have ever been walking down the street, just kind of breathing and looking at nature, and then something starts talking in your head? And it starts telling you what's not right or what's not good enough or what you have to do and why are you taking the time to walk. Have you ever done that and you're wondering, what the heck's going on up there? You know, who's in charge anyway? Remember, we're not the thoughts we're thinking, we're the thinker behind the thoughts. And we've got to recognize that there's two worlds going on. And which one are you and I going to choose to live into? Rumi, my beautiful 13th century Sufi mystic poet, says there's two kinds of intelligence. So I want you to think which one you're giving more power to right now. Because they're both important, but one's way more important than the other. There are two kinds of intelligence, one acquired. As a child in school memorizes facts and concepts from books and from what the teacher says, collecting information from traditional sciences and new sciences. With such intelligence, you rise in the world. You get ranked ahead or behind of others in regard to your competence in retaining information. You stroll with this intelligent in and out of fields of knowledge, always getting more marks on your preserving tablets. There is another kind of tablet. It's the one that is already completed and preserved inside you. A spring overflowing from the spring box. A freshness at the center of your chest. This other intelligence does not turn yellow or stagnate. It's fluid. It's fluid. It's fluid. And it doesn't move from outside to inside through conduits of plumbing or learning. This second knowing is the fountainhead from within you, from the inside out. He wrote this a long, long time ago. And it's time that we really get it, that we need time, you and I, to really settle in and listen to that voice within. The voice that's calling us to help somebody, to open a door, to do a project, whatever it is, whatever your soul's journey is, to listen into that knowing. We need to be finding our true and right self. If you feel lost right now, it's okay, because no matter how old or young you are, it's never too early or too late to focus on something new, something more, something bright, something alive, that you can say, I'm living fully because I remember who I am. If we think of 2,000 years ago when Jesus taught in parables, he taught in stories that would meet people where they are. So you could hear what you're ready to hear at the level you are. And he told a parable of the prodigal son, the lost son, who was greedy and selfish and really self-absorbed. And he wanted his father's inheritance now. And his father said, yes, you can take your inheritance. And he took the inheritance and he spent lavishly and foolishly until he had nothing left. And then he went to work, and the only job he could get was feeding the pigs. And he was so hungry that he said, I would be willing to eat the pods the pigs eat. But no one gave him anything. But he made the turnaround. He woke up. He listened. He looked in the mirror and he said, I have nobody to blame but myself. And he recognized it. When you and I get to that point and realize, wow, I have nobody to blame but myself. It doesn't matter what's going on here. It matters what's going on in here. And so what did that lost son do? He woke up. And he went back home, humble, awake, and available. And his father received him with open arms. It's the same with us. Life never holds itself back from us. You and I always have the opportunity to be open to something new, to let go. Sometimes we don't even realize we're hanging on so tight until the catastrophe gets us, and then we go, oh my gosh, I've got to let go for something new. This has been I'm just going to say, an interesting few weeks into this new year. A lot of things have been breaking and going wrong for me. None of my emails work. None of my health insurance was canceled. I mean, there's just all these weird things going on, and you're going, okay, what's going on? And I went to return a pair of shoes, because it seems like this Christmas we had the best Christmas, but every gift we got was wrong. So it's the opportunity to go back. And so I found 2 shoes I liked in place of the 1 shoe, which is not a very good idea. But I thought, I'm going to just take both of them and bring them home. And then I'll decide which one I want. They're comfy shoes. They weren't cute shoes, they were comfy. But I bring them home and I open the box, and there's a beautiful box that looks like Hawaii. And on the box, in cursive, in this kind of print, it said Tara M. How unexpected can that be? You see, I didn't see the box when I was in the store. I just tried on the shoe. We have helpers and wisdom always. It's always there. We need to listen. So thank God for buying new shoes. And I'm not returning that pair. That was my questionable pair. So, it was a good thing. But I'm ever in awe. I choose to live in awe because life is so awesome. Even when things are not working physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, relationship, it's awesome that we get to be alive. And I'll tell you, again, I want you to remember that little dash, I lived and I lived fully. That's the wish I want for all of us. I lived and I lived fully. So we need to find ourselves, of course, that divine wisdom, I don't know my gift. I don't know what it is. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Make the space. Shut up. No, just make the space. Stop talking. We have to just be quiet and let it come forth. We have to let it come forth. And then after we find ourselves, and again, if it's simply to open the door for somebody, the gift doesn't have to be this magnitude that we make it. It can be simply making a difference in someone else's life, sharing a smile. Then you and I get to remember there's a bigger unity that's going on. That the place we hold, our placeholder in this world, affects everyone. And there's a poem. I want to do a little prayer as we close, but I want to read a poem first. And I used to have it memorized, but I don't anymore. So I'm going to read it. But it's, again, from a mystic, a 13th century Sufi mystic. And this is Hafez. And Hafez said, I have learned so much from God. I've learned so much from God. I can no longer call myself a Christian, a Hindu, a Muslim, a Buddhist, a Jew. The truth has shared so much of itself with me that I can no longer call myself a man, a woman, an angel, or even pure soul. Love has befriended Hafez so completely that it has turned to ash and freed me of every concept and image I have ever known. So on that note, will you just close your eyes for a moment, please, and unravel yourself. Be available and willing right now. Be available and willing to let that wellspring of creative inspiration just flow through you. Be open to that infinite good, the unconditional love that is ever present, the love without judgment, the creativity infused with passion and inspiration, the joy that comes from just being alive. Just let this moment be a moment to be available and open, to free those golden seeds of inspiration, of life potentialities that reside within each and every one of us right now. To just be willing in this moment to take the next step, to be fully alive. And to live in the atmosphere and energy and vibration of questions, to have the courage to ask and be available. How am I to grow today? Today. Not forever and ever. Just what am I to do? Am I to read? Am I to share? Am I to give? How am I to grow? Work through something in this moment? Let go, open up. How am I to grow so I can be fully alive? What am I to give today? What am I to give to life? So I know that I matter, I make a difference, that I'm part of the universal collective consciousness of good. What am I to give to this moment now? A prayer, a smile, an openness. And knowing that every single day is a gift. Every day, every moment is a gift. What am I to celebrate here and now, in this moment? What am I to celebrate, be grateful for? In this moment, every moment is filled with celebration and blessings to be grateful for. And opportunities to learn and grow, and delays and upsets that aren't to throw us off our course, but rather to strengthen us physically, emotionally, and spiritually, to have more faith in the unseen than the seen. Truly knowing that every healer, of which we all are, Whether the healer is from within, our own divine wisdom that we tap into, or a healer from without, whether it's a practitioner or a doctor, every healer just taps into that divine wisdom that's already there. So as we awaken to who we truly are, we are healing ourselves as we awaken to this potential that is the essence and vibration of who we are. So just breathing into the questions and knowing that we are the answer. Now is the time, our time, to wake up, to fully live, to be alive, to appreciate, to love, to heal, to learn, to grow, to expand, and all of this, and to connect with one another. So if you have somebody next to you, just grab their hand, and if there's no one there, just grab the hand of the unseen helper that this room is filled with right here and right now. And I just, through the touch of who you are, just send the message. It may be the prayer that someone's seeking, and the answer is always love. It may be just knowing that someone matters, and just the touch that you matter, you make a difference. I'm glad you're here. And as we join together in this unified connection, we just know together that we are fully alive and expanded in this moment. That we awaken to who we are and we unite in the collective consciousness of love. How good it is. We say, thank you, God. And so it is. So, as we close today, here's your timeline. You don't have an ending date yet, but on the line, we're all standing on the line. So what does your line say? I lived, and I live completely. What does your line say? You got it, and so it is. Thank you for each and every one of you. Yay! Mwah. Love you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Beautiful.